goes tonight, waiting on these MCSs and trying to figure them out. Not very fun, Ansley. Is that true?
Yeah, not at all, I would say. Certainly, being on the side of trying to forecast these things, it is absolutely no fun. But what in the world are we talking about? We're saying this word MCS, throwing it around left and right. What is an MCS? And better yet, what in the world does that stand for? Well, when we look at the definition, it may sound a little complicated. MCS means mesoscale convective system. Yeah, okay, so what does that mean? Well, basically it just means that it's a multiple cell system. So multiple different thunderstorms organize themselves into one large system. And this can be really large, like what we're seeing out towards our west right now. It can span multiple states and they can be long-lived. They can even last for multiple days. So why are these such a headache? Well, let's take a look at the formation. Like I said, it's multiple different cells and they end up merging with one another and creating a large system that's able to sustain itself and honestly takes on a bit of a life of its own. That's why they can be a little bit unpredictable and difficult to forecast. One large system that again just continues sweeping wherever it so chooses. A lot of these form out towards our west, mainly in places like Oklahoma, Arkansas, even closer towards us in Mississippi and Tennessee. Now, during this time of year, because of where the jet stream is set up, what happens is the jet stream will pick these systems up and carry them towards us. But like I said, they can cause a lot of headaches when it comes to forecasting because it can be hard to tell how these systems will interact with the environment that it's entering into and how it's going to interact with itself. Will it stall over a certain area for a long time? Will it choke out its own fuel? Will it just end up sitting there and not moving? Those are all things that are hard to forecast with MCSs, and specifically that the models have a really hard time picking up on. So that's a little bit of that background as to the situation that we're dealing with, at least for later tonight. But the good news is, like you just heard Ben say, this pattern will start to break up as we head into the rest of the week, and then hopefully we can leave some of these MCSs in the rear view. I'm meteorologist Ansley Parker, and that's this week's Weather IQ.